and we are seconds away from an announcement that could change the future of Alberta. I'm sorry, Steve, but we've got breaking news. Lisa, you're on the ground in Drayton Valley. What's happening at Calvary Baptist Church?
Thanks, Mike. I'm here in Drayton Valley where two couples are celebrating 60 years of marriage. I asked what's held them together.
Well, I've got 7 pair of fencing pliers. We are Ivan and Marie Cornelson. Our families met in the same church.
And you were 14 then, right?
Yes, so we
That's
met.
when we met then at the youth group at the church. We ran around together, but nobody really paired up, even though you were you liked each other, but you didn't date because it wasn't.
You didn't show off dating because they'd tease you badly.
My name is Terry McQuaig.
And I'm Donna Mae McQuaig.
She told me she fell in love with my car.
And I did. He had a beautiful white.
1960 Pontiac Parisian hardtop.
Oh, and big, long. Oh, it was just beautiful. Actually, the thing that attracted to me first with him was his height. I love tall guys. So that's how simple I was back then.
Dad was the kind of guy when he went through the kitchen, he'd give Mom a little pat on the butt or a little kiss, and I married a man just like that. Something that's hard to explain. But, I mean, I can look across the room and know what I was thinking. And I know he can blush. He can wink at me and make me blush yet. Because, you know what each other's thinking, somebody just by the look they give you. True?
Or the look you don't get.
Well, you hear a lot. Well, marriage is 50-50. Marriage is not 50-50. Marriage is 100% given to each of you.
The world will give you all kinds of advice about your marriage, and don't take any of it. Because it's all bad. If you want good advice about your marriage, talk to people who know what it's about and who have Christ in their life. We really got to a hard part a hard space in our marriage. And I was ready to give up. And I told him I was through. And so he went for a walk and he had his own crisis on the top of a gravel pit and accepted Christ. And we went to marriage encounter after that, and it made a huge difference.
When we found out that love is a decision, not just an emotion. And if you make that decision to not love, then it's over. But if you make that decision to love and stick with it,
it's a decision. And then you live that decision. To me, it freed me. Some of my frustration just with him fell away.
Yeah. It didn't become an emotional roller coaster. It was more like you were most of the time on level ground.
Well, you can't go wrong following Jesus. You just cannot. And there was a lot of times here that we didn't have or didn't know, and we'd pray about it, and sometimes you get a clear answer, sometimes not so clear. But if you step out in faith, I believe in where we've seen it happen. You can't just sit back and wait for God to do something. You have to step out in faith. You're not going to go anywhere if you sit on the couch. You have to step out in faith, and then He'll show you where to go eventually and what to do.
Our marriage would never have survived it without Christ. That's plain and simple. I would have done the worldly thing and walked away and broke his heart and broke my heart and broke my kids' hearts and just wrecked a family.
Yep.
God is good, though. He just never gave up on us.
For the young people, I just say, hang in there. If you're having trouble, turn them over to the Lord, and it will get better. He'll allow you to handle whatever you got is troubling you.
I used to think that where we're at in marriage was had to be really old and shaky, and when you get here, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And we've had a good life together.
I feel blessed that God has blessed me to this point to be alive and well, and looking forward to the next days of God's grace.
Wow. 60 years just goes to show here. Christ gives us the strength to endure all things. Now back to Pastor Kenton.